Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today I'm going to be using these red eyeball dice that were sent in by a viewer. Thanks. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 5, everything sourdough. This sourdough loaf is coated on the outside with everything bagel seasoning. And since there's not really a good reason to leave our sourdough untoasted, we're going to go ahead and use our toasting cantrip and get our slices a little crispier. Let's roll for our main. 1, nice. Chicken liver pate. We rolled this brandy and sage chicken liver pate earlier this week, and it turned out to be pretty good. Doesn't really deserve the critical fail spot on the roll sheet. Sometimes I just put stuff at 1 that I haven't tried yet, and now that I have tried it, it's definitely not a fail. It's actually quite tasty if you like those kind of things.
I try it.
Next up, let's
I'm
roll
not a big
cheese.
cheese guy, but I try it.
6, Fontina. Fontina is a semi-soft cow's milk cheese. It has a mild and nutty flavor and should be good alongside the pate. So far, we have the makings of a pretty decent sandwich, but we're only about halfway done. Hopefully, we can keep it together. Next up, let's roll for roughage. Double 8s, pickled jalapenos. These tamed pickled jalapenos are a nice addition to any sandwich, giving it just a little bit of heat and a nice bit of acid. We've got some richness going on already, so that'll be nice to cut through that. All right, let's get wild with the wild magic roll. 13 tortilla strips. Not mad about this roll.
Not bad.
I'm a big fan of crunch on my sandwiches, and since we have such a soft main, it'll be a nice contrast texturally. And pickled jalapenos and tortilla chips go together very well. Kind of ended up with nachos with our pate. All in all, pretty solid sandwich. Let's see if we can stick the landing with the sauce. Last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go. 10, Acapulco Joe's. Acapulco Joe's sassy sauce.
I don't think it would be bad.
The only sauce brave enough to ask the question, what if a tortilla chip was made for the male gaze? Usually I don't put products on blast on this show, but the first ingredient's V8 and the second ingredient is ketchup in this hot sauce. Other ingredients include beer and grenadine. I don't know what's going on with this sauce. Taste-wise, it's fine, but it loses points for literally containing ketchup. All right, let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's get it cut in half.
It was going so well.
Let's take a look at that cross-section. I've seen worse. Well, after the pate, we kind of ended up with a Tex-Mex vibe for this one. Let's see how it tastes. This came together halfway decent. A little heavy on the jalapenos, but honestly, the spice and the acid is nice. Adding hot sauce to that was a bit redundant, but at least it didn't clash. The tortilla strips are an MVP, adding that crunch and helping to balance out that pate. Honestly, not bad. I'd make this again. Probably just swap out the sauce. Probably for some mayo or maybe an avocado ranch. All that being said, I'm going to go with an 8.6 today, and I'm going to call it the jalapeno. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again on Wednesday.
That was harder than I thought.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today's episode of Roll for Sandwich is sponsored by the Chop and Stick Cutting Board. This unique bamboo cutting board features a detachable magnetic knife block, perfect for holding your knives while not in use. The Chop and Stick Cutting Board comes with a 4-piece cheese knife and serving set, and features a groove on top, perfect for holding your cell phone, tablet, or recipe book. Get yours today by visiting the link in my bio or going to chopandstick.store. All right, without any further ado, let's get started with our roll for bread. 6, pepperoni bread. A nice yeasty loaf of bread with Parmesan and pepperoni baked right in. Don't mind if I do. Gonna cut ourselves a couple of, hopefully not too thick slices. It's a pretty dense bread, but tasty.
Dude, it looks good.
I want to try that. Pretty good.
I want to try that with some hot honey butter.
And then, we definitely got to toast these bad boys. The last time we had pepperoni bread, things worked out surprisingly well. Let's hope for a repeat. Next up, let's roll for Maine. 10, barbecue pork. I've got this shredded barbecue pork from my local butcher shop. Got it heated up, and we will add a nice layer to our sandwich here. Pepperoni and pork, not a bad pair so far.
Not a big fan.
Next up, let's roll for cheese. 6, Fontina. This mild and nutty cheese should be a good addition to the sandwich so far. Shaving it thin with my cheese cutter here to hopefully get it to melt a little bit on our hot pulled pork. No complaints so far. Next up, let's roll for roughage. 3, strawberry and 10 pickles. All right, well, strawberry on a barbecue pork sandwich is a little bit out in left field, but traditionally, pork and fruit go together pretty well, especially a fruit that has a little bit of acid like pineapple or strawberries. Now, pickle in barbecue pork is a classic pairing. In fact, I'd go far enough to say pickles are a necessity for a good pulled pork sandwich. And I think the pickles will help pull our strawberries more in the tart direction than the sweet direction. All right, let's get wild with our wild magic.
How about that?
15, TMNT. Teenage Mutant Pizza Seasoning, Teenage Mutant Pizza Seasoning, Teenage Mutant Pizza Seasoning. Does it go on?
Seeing it on here, I'll buy you a bottle.
I did not say I'd try the ghost pepper hot honey. I didn't say that, did I? Without a clip, I don't believe you. Just saying.
On pizza, or is it made of pizza? And last but not least, it's the D20 sauce roll. Here we go.
Nah, see? You ain't getting by me. No way. Yeah, I know. I would never agree to something like that outright, because I know ghost pepper is no damn joke, and I like spicy.
Oh. 18, maple peppercorn mustard. This maple peppercorn mustard from the National Mustard Museum is a tasty yet strong
National Mustard Museum
isn't on
real.
The show before. I really like mustard with pulled pork, and this one has some interesting flavor notes with the maple. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich closed up here. Get our toothpicks in to hold it together.
Wait, I can see just as normal as I
cut in half.
If I do this, I can see just as good as without my glasses.
And let's take a look at that
Since when?
Messy, but not bad. Well, we have a relatively
I can actually see just as good
sandwich. Aside
I just gotta do this all the time.
And it being on pepperoni bread, let's give it a taste.
Wait, that's awesome. That's such a nice tip to know for the future.
Yeah, you know, this isn't too bad. The strawberries really don't mess with the flavor combinations too much. That is a strong mustard, though. You've got a little bit of sweetness in the barbecue sauce and in the mustard from the maple, so the little bit of sweetness that the strawberries bring isn't really out of place. All in all, this is pretty decent. I don't think the strawberries elevated to some new fantastic level, but
looks good.
It's not
gross.
Really. It got a little soggy and was a little messy, but all in all, not a bad experience.
7-7?
I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 7.5, and I'm gonna call it the Peppa Pig. Thanks for hanging out with me today, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you again on Friday.
7-7, not bad.
Good afternoon, D&D, TikTok, and beyond, and welcome to Roll for Sandwich, the series where I let fate decide my lunch. Let's go. Today we're going to use this mystery set of dice that were sent in by a viewer.
That's some ghosts in the room.
Looks like we have a solid pink and swirly set and a metal gold and white percentile die. Thank you for those. Let's get things started with our roll for bread. 4 oat nut. 2 slices of oat nut. I'm going to get them toasted up and ready to go. Boom. Next.
See, it bothers me. It's like putting in the thing in the toaster, like upside down. It's got to be a toaster oven, right? And like this part is closer to the door. It's got to be that.
Boom. Next up, let's roll for main. 11, roll 2. All right, rolling for our double mains.
Butter the bread.
8 chorizo and 9 pepperoni. This is Spanish chorizo, which is why it might look weird to some Americans. Because of our proximity to Mexico, we're generally more familiar with Mexican chorizo, which is typically served ground. Either way, it's still spicy, cured pork sausage, which is kind of
I want some.
funny because that's also what pepperoni is, just from a different place.
I think I have done. I think I have looked up for it before. Hang on.
Today I have sandwich sliced pepperoni rather than the little guys. And I have to
sandwich
say, for
sliced
rolling
pepperoni,
a double
goated.
main, this is a good scenario. It's the best time of the day. It's cheese time. 6, Fontina.
Yeah,
Fontina's
Fancy Market
really been
might have
having
it.
its time to shine lately. I think this is the 3rd episode in a row that we've rolled Fontina. I'm not complaining. It's a delicious, nutty, slightly tangy cheese. That should be a perfect complement to our 2
Looks good.
spicy pork
This looks
sausages.
gas so far.
Now, as for the roughage, there are definitely things on this list that would pair fine, but there are also quite a few that would get in the way of the nicely cohesive sandwich we've got going so far. So I think I'm going to use my first leveled spell. I'm going to use a level 2 spell slot to cast Leafy Step, which lets me skip the roughage roll and move directly to the wild magic roll. Well, let's hope that we can clinch these last 2 rolls so that spell isn't in vain. 17 chips. I've got these cheddar and sour cream potato chips that I think will go.
Recently, I found there's hot ruffles, spicy ruffles, but they're spicy like cheddar ruffles. I deleted a whole bag in like a day. Go on.
Great on this sandwich.
Deleted
I could not be happier with the wild magic roll. That worked out well. All right, and last but not least,
I went back to the store to try to find them again. Couldn't find them. I could find the regular spicy, and I found the barbecue spicy. I was pissed.
E20 sauce roll.
Should've
Here we
got another
go. 13.
Flaming hot cheddar sour cream. Yes, that's what it was.
Pineapple salsa. This is Colombian pineapple salsa or pineapple sauce. And they actually typically eat it on like burgers and hot dogs. So I think it'll actually be okay here. Also, I'm apparently becoming sort of a pineapple on pizza apologist. And I would say if you like that combination, there really shouldn't be anything wrong with this one. Let's go ahead and get our sandwich put together here.
That looks gas. I'm not gonna lie, that looks f***ing gas.
Get our toothpicks in to hold it together. And let's get it cut in half. And let's take a look at that cross section.
That looks phenomenal.
Well, the sauce today is definitely going to make this one a divisive one.
I would decimate that.
But I think it turned out for the best. I think skipping roughage was the right call. Let's give it a taste. This is pretty good. The spicy meats and tangy cheese go together well.
10.
They both have that
is a 10.
chewy texture to them.
10.
Contrasted
10-0.
by the crunchy chips. And the sweetness of that pineapple sauce really takes the edge off of the spice.
Oh, maybe the
It's
bread?
not perfect, but it's pretty dang good. I'd be hard-pressed to think of roughage from that list that would have made this any better. So I'm going to say that this was worth burning that spell slot, and I'm quite satisfied with today's sandwich. There's been a lot of semi-pizza related sandwiches lately, but I don't mind that. As far as the rating goes, I think I'm going to give this one a 9.3, and I'm going to call it
I thought it was near
Pinino.
perfect.
Thanks for hanging out. I hope you have a great day. I'm off Monday for the holiday. I'll see you next Wednesday.
I gotta go a little higher than that. Come on, I gotta go at least a 9.7. Gotta give at least a 9.7 on a nice sandwich like that. Come on.